Why, hello and welcome everybody. It is Pohx again, and nobody needs to see this, don't worry about that. That is for a happy time. Okay, so, I want to bring up this topic, I guess, beforehand, now, before I actually, progress too far in the video. I haven't put out a vlog in quite a long time, because, you know, everything's been going great in my life, really. There's nothing really bad, except for the fact that my hair is really poofy right now. I have to go take a shower and make it curl back up again. Anyway, though, on a side note, I want to do, a Q&A, because I've never really done a Q&A for a vlog. So, on a serious note, if you guys have any, legitimate questions, you know, more pertaining, I guess, to my life, rather than just a specific question about a game, because I want it to be attracting, a global audience, you know, because some people are here from Arcade, some are here from Warcraft 3, some are here from Rift, some are here from RuneScape, some are here from Secrets of QnA, so I'd rather, you know, get it on a global scale where everyone can kind of relate to and whatnot. So, you guys have any questions, whether it be, you know, about my life, the transitioning of games, anything about YouTubing, anything about streaming, anything about moving, you know, anything that I would be able to answer, I guess, you know, I have no problem answering for you guys. As long as it's not too personal, I don't mind talking about my life. The only problem is when it involves someone else's life. I don't want it to be about my siblings or about my mom or about my dad too much, because that's tapping into their life now. I don't mind speaking pretty much anything about my life, though. So, now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about some nerfs that they decided to throw on. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this up right now. For those guys who know and or do not know, I've been playing a Crit Freeze Pulse Dual Totem Shadow in the league. So, on top of that, let me go ahead and go back here. Where did the nerfs go? Shit, I lost it. Rip. I'll go to Reddit. Reddit will have it. Reddit PoE. Let's go ahead and switch this over. Reddit always has all of your needs that you need. Minor balance update. Got it. Okay. Let's go ahead and change this. So we're gonna go to window capture. Window capture. This one. This one. There we go. All right. So, all right. Let's talk about some nerfs and some buffs, and let's talk about something. So. There is no wipe with this update. This is a set of minor adjustments. They're actually pretty major, but while we can clean up the build for a major patch for the next week. Note this does not include lockstep yet. No, it doesn't. Okay, although I'm hoping we can get something up next week. So, this is not a comprehensive list of changes, just some highlights. Further adjustments to chance of tormented spirits occurring. That's pretty neat. Vigilant Strike no longer has a duration tag. Alright, that's what I was questioning a while ago. Several aura reservation costs have been reduced. I actually have a listing here. I made a Reddit thread. I'll bring it up here really fast. I made a thread kind of about what I'm talking about right now, but it's more specific to one thing. Let's see if I can find it here. Next. I got buried with all this stuff. Alright, so here's the thread. So it goes over some of the stuff, so if you guys look here, I apologize for the blinding white screen. Anger is now 50%, Wrath is 50%, Discipline is 35%, Vitality is 35%, Purity of Elements is 35%, Heralds are back down to 20%, they were up to 30%, now they're back down to 20%. So, let's go back over here. Enlighten now has a mana multiplier instead of affecting gem experience gain. Now, this is why they changed the aura reservations. Reduced mana now no longer affects the mana cost multiplier. It just has reduced mana cost of stat and quality, so it does not affect aura reservation. If people want a confirmation, this is my reduced mana I have on the hardcore beta. It is just reduced mana cost. That's all it does now. So what does this mean? Well, there's a gem on a Reddit thread. It's a jewel that is 60% less reservation or less cost or whatever when placing a totem with an aura on it. If you use that and you use reduced mana and you pick up one reduced reservation from the tree, or sorry, not reservation, one Righteous Decree on Templar has it, 6%, you actually negate the entire cost of the totem. So you could have an aura bot that drops totems that are auras, but if you want to do that, you need to be kind of niche. So for example, on an aura bot, it's pretty important to be defensive. So you're still going to run your purities, you're still going to run whatever it is that you're running, but let's be honest, when you're fighting, normally you don't really need damage for whites, maybe blues you need some damage, rares and bosses is where you really need it. So you could have your anger, wrath totems there, or a hatred totem there, or vice versa, you could just have a vitality totem for sustaining for the boss fight, Or if you don't normally run purities, you could put purities on the totem so that when you get to a certain boss, you drop it, you get, you know, 5% extra max res from purities with like a generosity totem or something. So it's kind of something cool into play. I want to exactly see how it comes out. I don't really know how starved on... I don't know how starved on Link's Aurabots are. I've never played an Aurabot, but it's just something interesting that this could actually come into play. Alright. Fixed impact sounds not being on the whatever. No one cares about that. Reduced local crit on the weapons and two-headed axes. That was needed. They were so strong. Hook swords have had their implicit changed. Slowed in speed. Frostball has changed or maybe further changes. Reduce the amount of overkill damage turned into ignite and the radius of Herald of Ash. Chaos Golem's balance has been adjusted. I'm pretty interested for that. Damage adjusted on Arctic Breath. Flame Blast adjusted slightly, denerfed slightly in the light of other changes. Freezing Pulse damage adjusted. Freezing Pulse dropped a little bit in tooltip. My tooltip was 16.2k. It dropped down to 13k from this change. So that's a big hit to Freeze Pulse already. Which, I mean, according to people, Freeze Pulse was shit, so why nerf it? Skill balance on Sweep, Ball Lightning, and Ice Nova. I actually have a build theoried out now for crit Ice Nova totems. That's for later, though. Clarity has been rebalanced. It takes a lot less mana to run now, which is really cool because it makes Clarity a lot more viable to run on Blood Magic, which is what people were doing previously. Now it's a lot easier because the quality on a Blood Magic support gem actually reduces the amount that it takes, which further, you know, allows with Blood Magic in your auras. Balance changes to the explosion damage of Dominus's demons and higher difficulty adjustments. That's good. Adjustments to crit on bows and staves. Adjusted mana costs and increase the radius of rain and arrows. So that's a buff to rain of arrows. The build I just quit. Elemental shit, I mean hit, now has additional chance to cause status ailments. Damage changes likely improved are yet to come. So that's, I don't really know how I feel about that. It depends, because if it's like Shock, Freeze, and Ignite, you're probably going to go crit elite hit anyway. I don't really see it being necessary, but I haven't actually seen the gem. Several changes have been made to jewels, however the rework of rare jewel mods is not yet ready. So I have one jewel here. Let's see if I can pull it up on Reddit. If not, I'll tell you exactly what it does. Additionally to the build that I was playing, used Rain of Splinters, and Rain of Splinters was kind of hit up the dick. So let's go ahead and show you guys Rain of Splinters. This one is 39% reduced totem damage. Now it's not less damage, it's just reduced. It's still a big hit though, so now you're spending 2 points to get the LMP to get the more area damage to still lose some. It's not too bad, it sucks, but I mean if you want the AoE, you're sacrificing a little bit. So for my build, Freeze Pulse's damage got reduced, and the fucking totem now got reduced. And I think they adjusted totem life, but I don't know 100% yet. So I took quite a big hit to my build, probably about like a 25 to 30% damage loss overall, which was pretty big. Added currency items to Act 4 vendors. They're currently a copy of Act 3. This is just like, that should have been there from the beginning. They just never added in. Essentially, Act 4 guys didn't have any currency in them. Reduced area effect on lightning tendrils. I guess because people were just permafreezing with 3 dragons. I don't really know. The 2 passes prior to the smashing strikes notable have had their values swapped. All that is if you guys remember where Templar is, and Templar Marauder, if you go left, there's a staff wheel. They used to be 20% fizz, 10% crit. Now they're 10% fizz, 20% crit. So that would be that. And it's kind of interesting seeing what happens. So just to bring up here the Awakening, I'll show you guys exactly what was changed with my character, since I'm sure some of you guys are following the build. I kind of like it, I kind of don't like it. For example, I feel like, I don't know, I don't necessarily know if Freeze Pulse should have been nerfed, because there's skills that way outperform it, let's be honest. So I think that was maybe a little bit silly. You know, I was playing Fire Nova Mine, they decreased the damage effectiveness by 50%. Now I'm playing Freeze Pulse. Freeze Pulse got knocked down. Additionally, Rain of Splinters got knocked down. So now I'm actually thinking of doing an Ice Nova Totem build. I don't think it's going to be as effective as this character, but who knows? You know, who knows the possibilities when you can run Conk Effect and whatnot. So I'm pretty excited to see how that's going to go. I just really hope that if I get this one to be successful, they don't slap it in the dick, because it'll be a little PJ Kappa. But, oh, that is loud. That is a angry... Let's just go to Volume Mixer here and bring that down to, like, you know, 3%. Alright, so just to log in really fast on my character here, who is level 80. Alright. My freeze pulse is 10k DPS right now. Now, notice that this is without the reduced mana, so I don't need the reduced mana anymore. Clarity at level, what level is my clarity? Level 18 is only 251 mana reserve without any reservation in the tree. So that's pretty cool. So I can run all my auras now normally without, this is around the same amount of mana I had, believe, as well with the reduced mana. And you can see the reduced mana doesn't do anything now. If you snapshot it, it does absolutely nothing. So my damage did go down quite a bit. I mean, for the people who are on the stream, they'd know I was at about 16k, 16.3k DPS on Freeze Pulse. It was knocked down. The gem is still very strong though. Like if I were to pull out Freeze Pulse, which is located here, it still has a top end of 651. Ice Nova, now this is 16, so I don't have the exact gem levels, but Ice Nova doesn't compare to that. I hope when it hits 18, it's going to be a lot stronger, because I do feel I could do something really cool with Ice Nova. Like, if I were to run, for example, Ice Nova, Hypothermia, Cold Pen, Spell Totem, Conk Effect instead of Faster Casting, 6 Link would be Area of Effect or Faster Casting. I don't know how successful it's going to be if I'm not using Faster Casting, because I think that the cast time on Freeze Pulse is actually much shorter than Ice Nova. It actually is. So if I were to test this out right now, of course it's not going to do that much damage at all, but let me just go see. And I can actually modify my tree for it. So really fast, let's talk about this. So what I would do is, instead of going 1, 2, 3 like this, 4, 5, 6, I would instead go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. And I would drop this section, and I could drop this node as well. And I would swap this, so I would put the mana and life here rather than here, if that makes sense. And then for this section here, I might be able to do something to connect through AoE, I'm not sure, or I just spec up to and grab Amplify. So it's not too bad. I would also drop the projectile here. I drop Sniper, so this would get swapped out. So it's a few more points I'm investing, but I would be getting Amplify. And Freeze, the only problem with Ice Nova is it's a 5% base crit, whereas Freeze Pulse is a 6% base crit. Ice Nova is a 5. So I don't know 100% how that's going to work out. We'd have to really see. But let me just see 100% how fast it casts. That's not bad. The only problem is it's not that, the AoE is not that big. It's actually really small. And if I were to run, and like this is actually really slow cast speed. So like if I pull out Faster Casting, I guess it's not that slow, is it? It's pretty slow. It's pretty slow. It's pretty slow. So there's gonna have to be a lot of work to be going in if I'm gonna try to make this work. If I want to run Conk, because remember, Conk is where the damage comes. Like this has no damage at all. This has no damage at all compared to my Freeze Pulse totems. So I don't know. I think Conk is kind of like a requirement there. But you know, nonetheless, worst case scenario, I can still run Freeze Pulse totems. The only reason why I'm scared is because this is not including the nerf on Rain of Splinters. Rain of Splinters is still right here. Like, it hasn't been, like, I guess I'm using a legacy one, I don't know, but I'm still gonna lose even more damage. So that's pretty much it. You know, that's pretty much it. You guys let me know what you guys think about these changes and whatnot. With the reduced mana change, I do want to bring up one more point, that in the reduced mana change, some really cool things happened. Since they changed the way reduced mana is and they lowered the costs of stuff, I don't know 100% how it works for people who aura stack. Maybe they're losing out, maybe they're gaining, I don't know. But it makes it so when you play a summoner, you don't have to use reduced mana, which actually opens up links for you. Since it opens up links for you, you could play around with some other gems, which is really cool. Like, for example, when you use a Prism Guardian, you have 3, so you've got 3 links. But one of them has to be reduced mana. Now you can put 3 in a Prism Guardian, which is, I mean, that's an extra thing reserved on life. That's pretty big. And then you potentially save anywhere from 2 to 4 gem sockets, because say you couldn't normally, oh, I think a fly just like rammed in the window. Say you normally couldn't, like, you didn't have the sockets for it, so you'd be forced to like move something to a helmet instead of a weapon. You could potentially, like I said, save like 2 to 3 links rather than just saving the reduced manas. So that's pretty much it. You know, as always, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I want to hear your guys' opinions, and you let me know, and then maybe I can get a video out. You know, I can get the vlog in here, hopefully the end of this week. and maybe talk about the Ruckus League, which is coming up, aka Flashback League. So anyway, hope you guys have a fun time, hope you guys enjoyed yourselves, and I hope to see you guys on the stream later tonight. Take care, everybody.